isn't this a humble show? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Daily Dive. I'm Michael Carvelos. That's Connor Fields. How are you, sir? How have you been?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on the show. How's everything with you?
I'm frustrated, but I'm good overall. It's been a long season, man.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a long season, a fun season, but obviously a tough ending for us. A little too soon as we hoped, but yeah, definitely a fun season.
So I got to ask you, since you brought up that first, Connor. You guys had a magical final regular season weekend. According to Grant Perro, he has some math that said that you guys had a 3% odds so chance to make the playoffs, and you win your two games, had a lot of help from the other games, but what was the mindset? I know Taylor Jensen said everybody's got to do their job when we talked to him, but how did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with that percentage, right, it's pretty close to impossible, right? So we needed a lot of things to go right, which thankfully they did. But in our locker room, our mindset, which is I think that kind of the only mindset you could have is just control what you could control. So we knew, it was a big weekend for us. We had two games, and we knew it was playoffs for us, right? It was win or go home. So we knew if we lost one, we were going to be out. So it was just, as Jen said, right, taking it play by play, just do your job out there. And yeah, obviously we wanted to put ourselves in position to be able to make the playoffs. We knew we had to win both games, and then we were just hoping for the rest to fall into place, which it did. So it was definitely a nerve-wracking but exciting weekend.
The playoff game you guys played the Rock. It's been so long ago now. Their defense is nuts. Explain the loss to me, like just in the best way that you can. Like, what went wrong? Do you feel like you guys could have done anything better? I mean, or they were just the better team this year?
It's tough to say, right? Because obviously they were the number one seed, right, for a reason. I think they're a tremendous team, offensively, defensively, goaltending, faceoffs. They're a very complete team. I think we're a great team too, and I think coming into that game, we knew what killed us last year against Buffalo too was coming out to a slow start, especially on the road for a playoff game, and that kind of happened again, which we went down 4-0, I think, in the span of only a couple minutes.
Right.
And then obviously through the rest of the game, I think, we might have won the rest of the game 6-5. But just that slow start, which we knew you can't do on the road, especially, but not in a playoff game either. It's really tough to come back, especially on the number one team in the league. So we kind of dug ourselves a hole, and it was too big to get out of.
I can't help but poke fun. You said it's hard to come back against them, and I guess Bandits did that. And it's like, well, you're right.
Yeah, no, it was that was a fun series to watch this past weekend. I know, it's tough being on the outside looking in, just watching, but that was a really entertaining series. Both of them were, and obviously Bandits pulled off that comeback. I think a little bit of the home crowd helps there too. Obviously, Banditland is Banditland, right? They're crazy and loud and a ton of energy. But I think too, it's I think both teams are a great team. So it was fun to watch that series.
Are you rooting for anybody, or like you play both Albany and Buffalo? It's like, who do you think's gonna win?
That's tough to say. It's both great teams, both in the championship for a reason, right? So at the end of the day, I'm just rooting to watch some good lacrosse. And, I think, I don't have any, pick of who's going to win, because honestly, I think they're both, tremendous teams, and either of them really could win this series. So I'm just hoping it's a good series, and it's fun to watch for all us on the outside watching in.
Are there any rules against gambling on the NLL? You're a player.
I think so. I definitely stay away from that. But I would assume. I think we've gone through some courses with that. So yeah, I definitely stay away from that stuff. But even if we were allowed to, I don't know if I would this series either, because I couldn't even tell you who's gonna win. It's gonna be a really good series, and it's like I said, it's two tremendous teams playing in obviously the biggest games of the year. So it'll be fun to watch.
Back to Rochester, and we're getting to you in a moment. Don't worry, for those of you watching and yourself. Rylan Hartley, obviously the concussions struck again this year, but he came back. And I must say, Hutchcraft did a good job in that, by the way. But wow, Rylan Hartley was looked like he was pissed off for missing time, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
He came back for vengeance, that's for sure. I think as you said, we're really lucky in Rochester that we consider them both two starting goalies. So we're really fortunate that we have two great goalies, and Hutchie played great all season. He got us into a position where we had a chance to make the playoffs, right, coming into that last weekend, and obviously Hartsey, right? He came in and played great. He took over. I mean, against Philly, I think he only let up 3 or 4 goals, and even on the road in Toronto in a playoff game, right? I think he only let up 9 or 10. So I mean, it's both those goalies. They both give us chances to win. I think just having seeing him back on the field, after what he went through, I think it was definitely a good boost for our team. In terms of just energy, and it's really you hate to see that happen to any player, let alone a guy on your team. So it was a big boost seeing him back on the floor, and back to old ways for him.
That's awesome. Hartsey. Why does everyone like in the NLL have like a name of like E, like a Y at the end? Like we got to find something else for these guys, man.
Seriously, I know. I feel like it's just the easiest thing to say, right? And
like Fieldsy,
call him Ralphie too. Yeah. So it's honestly anything that ends in a Y seems to be sticking for all the players in the league. And if your name doesn't make sense with it, they still find a way to make it make sense. So
as long as I ain't Mikey, I'm good. So let's talk about 2 young guys on the team, one of which we have on the show, one of which I guess we'll try to get on. Taylor Jensen scored his first goal. How awesome was that for you guys? It's in those jerseys again, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I think we were pushing to get those jerseys in the in the playoff game, because obviously both times we wore those jerseys were good games for us. So I think we were trying to get them for the first round, but to see Gents bury his first goal, I think it was it was awesome to see. Obviously you saw his reaction, and I don't know if you saw the bench's reaction too. We all had the same reaction. It was just obviously so much excitement. He's definitely made a name for himself already in a quick time frame in the NLL, and I think he's a tremendous defenseman, tremendous teammate, tremendous athlete. So I'm just happy to have him on our side. I hate to go against him. I hate going against him in practice, but it is sigh of relief knowing that he's on our team.
Tell me about Thomas McConvey's growth. I know we talked about this probably last time as well, but we're live this time, which is good. But tell me about Thomas McConvey. How he was up there with the loose balls. You must have taught him a few things about the loose balls, man.
Yeah, T-Mac, honestly, I'm frustrated, for him, because I think he should have been a Rookie of the Year finalist. I think he's obviously a tremendous player. He's such a great teammate, such a great guy in the locker room. But just what he did on the floor for us in adapting to the NLL game and the speed, right, in such a quick time frame, I think he was a huge part to our success this year. And I was hoping to see his efforts be rewarded with at least being a finalist. I thought he's one of the best, if not the best rookie in the NLL this year, and I'm just excited that he's on our side. He's a guy that makes everyone around him better, scores goals, assists. You talked about loose balls, which I think go under the radar a lot of the time. And, those are getting those repossessions for us that are huge. So, he's got a really, really bright future. I think he showed, so much how good he is this year. And I think, the sky's the limit for him. He's going to be better and better every year. So, T-Mac's a guy who, like I said, I think should have been a Rookie of the Year finalist. Maybe even have won it.
I'm glad you have some thoughts on the awards. I can't lie. I was like, okay, this guy's got a little bit of opinion. I'm just going to read you a pinned tweet real quick. I don't know if you're on Twitter a lot, but I said Nick Rose over Connor Fields for MVP for a finalist is comical by every media member that voted that way. What the hell were they watching? 2 of Nick's teammates are finalists for defensive player. Nobody can justify that. Without reacting to that, obviously, because that wouldn't be fair to you. Were you surprised at all to see your name now on the ballot, or do you even care?
I think at the end of the day, all the finalists who were finalists, had tremendous seasons and, are deserving.
Right.
I think in terms of, I think everyone wants to be, to be the best and, rewarded for their efforts, I think too. So, I'm a little, I was a little disappointed. I was more disappointed that we're not playing this weekend, so if that puts things into perspective, I'd rather be playing for a championship than, any award. But, I think it goes with every league and every sport, right? I think there's a lot of, there's some favoritism in the league, and I think guys, are
tread lightly, Connor.
I think everyone's deserving, right? So it's tough to say no one's deserving because I think they're all great players and are finalists for a reason. But I think some of the people who have votes, you can see it when they talk about NLL in their articles and stuff like that. They have their favorites. I think, if my name was one of those guys' names that they like and they had the same stat line, I think they might have been finalists. So, I do think they're, a little frustrated. Like I said, I think T-Mac got robbed. I think Gilray got robbed. I think Gilray's, he's tremendous in transition, right? Defense. He does everything for us. So, a little frustrated for our team in general. But like I said, none of that really matters. It's all more frustration towards that we're not playing this weekend or next weekend, I should say.
It's this weekend, to be fair. That was a good answer. I like that because it's like you obviously have pride as an athlete, but you also are humble and want the team to succeed. So it's got to inspire the guys, right? They got to be talk about it a little bit.
No, I think we try to stay away from those things. I think it's bulletin board material for next year, right? And for off-season training, I think in specific, it just makes you want to be, that much better next year. So, I know myself, I'm sure everyone on the team is going to use not only our losses, but just wanted to be better next year as bulletin board material for this off-season training and just to be, in our best shape possible, ready to go next year to make a run. Cause like I said, we want to be playing this last weekend and we want to be holding up that trophy, after that last game. So, I guess the awards, not so much, as motivation. It is a little bit, but I think more so it's watching these games and these, last weekend, the series is, and then this last one, I think that's more bulletin board material for us to get, ready for next year. Love
it. Two more things. One of them is producer Joe wants me to let you know that we know for a fact there were multiple that did vote for you number one as MVP. And if I had to vote, just let you know, I would have had you there.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that.
I'm not even recognized as a media finalist, but that's whatever too. I wasn't even on the 26th person ballot.
That's crazy. That is, I can't believe that.
Whatever. It's just whatever. But one other thing I got to ask you, and this is like, because, it's summertime. We talked about the Utah Archers last time. Are you ready for summer ball? Are you playing this year?
Yeah, I think just towards the end of the season, we just had some lingering injuries. I think everyone does, right? So it's a very long, exhausting physical, season for the NLL. So, right now I'm enjoying some time off, recovering, and obviously training for this summer, but also, getting ready, obviously in mind of next NLL season. So, it is nice to get a little rehab and recovery on the body. But yeah, I'm excited for the summer. I love, I just love playing lacrosse. I love the outdoor game as well. And we're defending champs in that league. So, it's definitely, we'll have a target on our back in that league. And, hopefully we can make a run at it again.
You better enjoy yourself. Oh yeah. We're going to ask you how you have a newborn. Well, not a newborn anymore, but like the kid, like, how is that balancing that? Like, also tell her hello.
Yeah, it's been awesome. We're blessed with, with our son, and he's almost 4 months, which has gone by so fast. And, He's been the best thing that's happened to us. He's such a happy baby. He made a couple trips to Roch games, so he brought us some good luck. Actually, not he was at the playoff game too, so it was, I'm sure he's obviously not watching much. He's probably staring at the lights in the ceiling and all the people in the stands. But yeah, no, it's super cool to be a parent now, and you just have I feel like a whole new perspective on life and things in general. So, it's definitely a lot with lacrosse and training, and obviously want to be home with him too. And just everything. So, but we wouldn't trade it for the world. It's the best thing that's happened to us. So yeah, thank you. We've been loving everything so far.
What's his name again?
His name's Finn.
It's a great name.
Great name.
Cannot wait to see his NLL future as well, by the way. But
yeah,
anything last thing to plug for you?
Oh no, I was just, I thank you guys, for having me on the show. As I've said before on the show too, I'm a huge fan and love listening in, from a fan's perspective. So, I appreciate you guys for doing what you do, growing the game, and, I know you guys have given me exposure too, and I really appreciate that. So, thank you guys, so much for everything, and thanks for having me on again.
Well, now we're both blushing, and you have a great day, sir.
You too. Thank you so much.